You're listening to Daily Horoscope for your zodiac sign with Stephanie Campos. I'm your host, Stephanie Campos, and I am a practicing astrologer, psychic medium, and witch. In each daily episode, I covered a detailed overview of the astrology of the day and what you can expect from full moons to Mercury retrogrades. I've got you covered. And of course, there is always a personalized horoscope for your zodiac sign. If you scroll down in the show notes, there are always timestamps included for your convenience. And a quick pro tip before we dive in, I do recommend listening to your horoscope based on your rising sign for more accuracy. And if you are loving this podcast, don't be shy, leave a rating. Hell, even a review. I'm a one human show and produce each and every episode every day just for you. And your support means so much. Now let's get into the astrology of the day. This is your daily horoscope for Friday, December 26th, 2025. The action starts out around 7 a.m. when the moon in Pisces forms a square with Mercury in Sagittarius. This is a busy time for communication, for making important decisions, catching up on conversations, receiving text messages. It's also a busy time for getting into arguments or disagreements about your beliefs. But standing up for what you believe in can also be empowering, and it might also help to shift someone else's perspective or understanding of a certain situation or even the world around them. Later on, around 10 a.m., the moon in Pisces forms a trine with Jupiter in Cancer, bringing an element of generosity and hope and gratitude to the day. This could look like a sweet interaction with someone else. It could look like learning lucky news. It could look like a positive development on a personal goal, or just feeling plugged in and grateful for the everyday things in your life that sometimes we take for granted. Around 4:30 p.m., the moon in Pisces forms a conjunction with Saturn in Pisces, bringing a little bit more responsibility and even some sort of disappointment to the day, perhaps. This could be a time where you have to focus or make an important decision or set a boundary or make a sacrifice, or maybe there's an obligation that pops up and you want to have fun instead, but something comes up out of the blue and you need to take care of it. This could also be just energy that puts you in touch with your own limits. Maybe you're just feeling tired. Maybe you need to slow down, and it can give you a little reality check on remembering how to say no. Around 8:30 p.m., the moon in Pisces forms a sextile with Uranus in Taurus, and this is going to bring a total vibe shift. There's more energy, momentum, surprise, excitement, hope. You're better able to take risks, and you're willing to do something out of the box, something different, and it feels exciting. This could also look like a divine download or even some sort of welcomed, unexpected interaction with someone else. Around 11 p.m., the moon in Pisces will form a conjunction with Neptune in Pisces. You are either fast asleep and in another dimension, or maybe you're having trouble sleeping, or if you are someone who engages in alcohol or drugs or extracurricular activities of the such, this is going to be an important time where people really have the tendency to just check out and escape, and you could really wind up with a hangover. So please drink your water. This is also not the best time to escape, even though there is that kind of desire to just check out, whether it is like binging a movie or doom scrolling, or not even doom scrolling, just like getting caught up in your algorithm and sucked into the phone, which is a drug. It is, keeping us from everyday, tangible human lives. So this just might be a moment where you're feeling distracted, where you're feeling exhausted. Maybe you're feeling a little emotional. All of the above. But I would just say, if you do want to party and have some fun tonight, drink extra water, make sure you have a solid meal. And if you don't, make sure you're just doing the same thing anyways. And proactively engaging in grounding exercises can also be super helpful. And if you're feeling tired, most importantly, just listen to your body. That's all I ask.
Aries, you may wake up feeling a little bit more exhausted when the moon forms a conjunction with Saturn. You may also feel a little bit more pressure from any ongoing commitments or responsibilities. And this can be an important reminder for you to ask for help and set boundaries where necessary. Engaging in some sort of committed spiritual practice, whether it's a morning meditation or a walk or listing your gratitudes, can really help offset some of those more intense feelings from Saturn. Taurus, you may be focused very intently on a goal you have when the moon forms a conjunction with Saturn. Maybe you wake up and you are working hard towards that goal, or you could also receive some news that puts some doubts in your mind about that goal. Maybe someone who said that they were going to help you, that falls through for some reason, or maybe you experience some sort of tension or need to set boundaries with a friend or community that you're a part of. Gemini, today you feel a little extra pressure from whatever major and main storyline is unfolding in your life. So whether it's something having to do with your career or family or a living situation or a romantic partner, you just feel like you might have reached your limits and like you may need to set boundaries with someone else in that situation. If you are focused on work, you might just be very diligently moving along. This can be a very productive time to get things done. Cancer, you might be setting important boundaries today when the moon forms a conjunction with Saturn. Conversations are more serious today, and conversations that you have or information that you learn can lead to a perspective shift and helping you understand someone else's point of view or a situation in the world with a new understanding, but it also feels a little heavier or somber. Now, on the other hand, you could also be committing to a new idea. Maybe you're signing a contract or getting serious about an idea that you want to pursue, or even a subject that you want to study. Leo, when the moon forms a conjunction with Saturn, you are considering your limits financially and emotionally. So practically speaking, you could be focused on your finances, your relationship with debt, paying off credit cards, and the give and take in your shared resources with partners or business partners. And emotionally, you are considering the give and take in your relationships, and you may have to set some boundaries in your close connections. Virgo, when the moon forms a conjunction with Saturn, this can be a little bit of a more somber time for your one-on-one relationships. You might experience a reality check regarding an important person in your life. Maybe you're realizing where you've been giving too much and you need to set some boundaries or new expectations, or have an uncomfortable conversation that ultimately will lead to a healthier foundation for your future. Now, you could also be signing a contract or agreeing to a new collaborative project. Libra, when the moon forms a conjunction with Saturn, you might feel just a little bit more overwhelmed in your day-to-day life. Maybe there is a personal or professional responsibility or obligation that is just falling more onto your plate and leaving you exhausted in the process. So this is going to be a very important reminder for you to establish a healthy work-life balance, to honor your boundaries, to ask for help, and to share your limits with others before you reach your limits. Scorpio, when the moon forms a conjunction with Saturn, you could be focused on a creative project. Maybe you are whittling away at a passion project and feel really focused and you're making progress. Now, on the other hand, you could also feel like you are creatively depleted, or maybe you're struggling with writer's block in some way. This could also be a moment where you simply just feel like the wind is out of your sails and you're feeling temporarily a little bit more depressed. Don't worry, this will pass. This energy is temporary and will dissipate before the end of the day. Sagittarius, when the moon forms a conjunction with Saturn, you are feeling a little bit more nostalgic and more emotional about your past. You might reach your limit with a situation with a family member or a lover or a roommate. Maybe you have to discuss boundaries or expectations, or maybe you're just feeling disappointed about a living situation or even feel like the past is weighing on you in some way. This is an important time to be curious about what you are focusing on, what memories come up, because it is very possible that you can actually garner some wisdom from whatever your mind is having you focus on. Capricorn, when the moon forms a conjunction with Saturn, you are going to need to set boundaries and have more stern conversations. This could also be a moment where you learn some information that feels disappointing. If you're negotiating contracts, maybe it doesn't go exactly as you had planned. If you had plans with friends, maybe they cancel last minute. And you could also just simply feel a little bit more down today. If you are feeling isolated or disappointed in any way, writing and journaling can actually be a really productive way to process some of your feelings. Aquarius, when the moon forms a conjunction with Saturn, you are focused on your resources, and this can also kick up feelings of scarcity and also projection or jealousy of what other people have. You are focused on your possessions, but you may also be focused on what you don't have, and that can stir up this sense of lack from deep within and lead to obsessive thinking. Now, it's also possible that if you're in negotiations for a contract or a job, maybe you hear a no when you are hoping for a yes. Just try to remember that rejection is always the universe's way of divine protection. And if you are struggling with your finances, don't be afraid to ask for help. Maybe a friend or a loved one would be happy to buy you a meal. Pisces, you might be just a little bit harder on yourself this morning when the moon forms a conjunction with Saturn. This can be a moment where you feel like you're having a reality check, especially regarding your sense of self, your identity, your physical being, and also your personal goals. So this is a really important time to get real with yourself about your goals and whether or not you are working towards them in a productive way. Or are you simply just saying that you want something, but staying in the same patterns and cycles and not making the changes? This is a profound moment to recommit to yourself, your well-being, and your desires. As always, I hope your daily horoscope has offered some guidance and support throughout your day. And if you can't get enough of this podcast and want more horoscopes, I invite you to join me over on Patreon, where every Sunday you gain instant access to 7 episodes of your daily horoscope for the week ahead, a weekly psychic reading, a monthly tarot spread, and a monthly meetup, which ranges from group tarot readings to group mediumship readings and circles to ask me anything about your personal birth chart. These group monthly meetups have been a real highlight over the past few months, and I am enjoying them so much. There is a link in the show notes to join. It is only $10 a month. And I hope to see you there. As always, I'm sending you love, protection, and blessings in every single dimension. Thanks so much, and see you tomorrow.